Hey, good afternoon, Greater Heartland. My name is Clark Kendall. I serve as your regional technology trainer, and we're here today for Power on Your Business. This is an introductory course with the intent of being very applicable, okay? Taking action with your technology to best understand it. So I hope you're ready today to get a hands-on approach. So buckle up. We're excited about this. Here's what we're covering today. For our goals, we're going to begin your journey, tech-enabled journey, and also to, of course, introduce you to these tools and empower you to take the next step. Now, you might be watching this just getting your KW Command login or understanding that you have a home search app, or you might have had these tools for a while and been using them. I hope, and my goal is for you to take something new and to begin to apply it to your business. So here's, it is going to be hands-on, so it is best at this moment if you have your command login ready. Make sure you have that and you have it ready to go on this side. Now, I know if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube Live right now, that it might be difficult to see my screen and also yours, and that's okay. Follow along if you're live. I appreciate you taking the time, carving out the time for your business to do this. And if you're watching this later, it makes it easy to pause and go back and do the activity. So you want to have your command login at agent.kw.com ready. And so I'll give you a moment to sign in there. And also your KW home search app, your personally branded app, which I'll touch on base here in a bit. While we're going through this, know that we will cover the essentials for your business, the tried and true pieces of technology that will drive profit and give you time back in your business. And there's a lot that we'll be covering. We're going to be snorkeling on our technology today, not really scuba diving. And so if there are further questions or you want to take the next step in any one of these tools that we introduced to you, answers.kw.com is a great site, a resource for you that has all the articles on anything that you can imagine to do with our technology, not just command, but also the home search app, even kwconnect.com, our education hub. All right, so answers.kw.com is your go-to. Once we're closing here, I will go ahead and put some of the most important articles from answers.kw.com into the comments section so you have them at your ready. Also, while that's a great resource, know that you are not alone in this tech journey to build your business in our technology. You have an amazing Market Center tech trainer who is a polished, skillful professional to understand your business and apply it in command. So reach out to them. They're your boots on the ground person to help you understand how to apply your business in there. And if you encounter any difficulties, they're your go-to resource. Okay, so get to know that person, and they would love to get to know your business. So next here's our agenda. Real simple. I said 4 simple steps. Here they are. You're going to get your first lead today. You're also going to be having your first contact, which there's a difference there. You're going to get your first smart plan. You might not know what a smart plan is. You'll find that out. And your first opportunity. Okay, that's our goal. 4 simple steps. And at the end, if you have questions, please put them in the comment section as we go along. I'll ask for one more moment for questions at the end. And if we don't have any, then we'll wrap it all up. But no, here's a cool thing. If this is live, you're watching this, you can go ahead and put your comments, even if it's not live, if you're watching this previously recorded session, put your comment in there and that question, share it with your Market Center tech trainer as well, and we'll get you an answer for sure. Okay. So while we're talking about this, real quick on a quick why KW technology. It's not technology for technology's sake. You might hear the word technology and you have your own beliefs about your capabilities with technology. You might say, well, I'm not a tech person, or you know what, I'm so techie. I'm the techiest of the techie. Wherever you're at on that spectrum, know that we want to have real estate conversations first, right? So whether you feel like you're on the low end of technology, believe me, you are a techie person. Most of us have a smartphone, and say the strong majority of us have a smartphone, which is a very, very advanced piece of technology, right? And yet we've learned how to use that. Same with our technology for your agent business. You can learn this. And the cool thing about today is we're showing you the essentials, because there's a lot more, yes, that our technology can do, but these are going to be the essentials to introduce to you today. Talking about how important to understand a real estate conversation applies to our technology and vice versa, we have the lead generation model. This is from Millionaire Real Estate Agent 2, which is being worked on. And yet this is This model has been derived from research from our top agents and teams business, the ones that are most profitable, the most successful ones. And this is how they understand business to flow through their organization. So lead generation model, we're going to cover on this because I want us to understand how business flows and where our tech kind of fits in, especially today as we have our 4 simple steps. All right. Real quick to introduce this, I'm going to actually share a different screen so you can see my little cursor here so you can follow along. I did have the incorrect one shown there. There we go. All right. So, and reshare. There we go. Thanks for that. Thanks for hanging in there. All right. So we have this lead gen model. On the far left-hand side is kind of where I want to introduce these 3 concepts of these phases. Lead generation. It all begins with generating the lead. The one who holds the lead holds the market. And so we're going to understand, well, what does it look like to generate a lead today? Because I did promise that you would get your first lead today. So what does lead generation look like? Once I do capture that lead, where does it go? Into my database. I did mention that on our steps, our first 2 steps, getting your first lead and getting your first contact. Know that a lead is somebody you have not connected with. You are just in one-way communication, offering them the value. And if they haven't reciprocated that communication, we want to understand that definition of a lead. One-way communication. Once they reciprocate and we're in relationship and we're communicating together, that lead becomes a contact. Okay. 2-way communication begins. That's a basic definition of a lead difference between a lead and a contact. Now, while we have our database of leads and contacts, a mixture therein, we are going to continue to communicate them and understand their readiness to make a real estate decision. And once they raise their hand at any point in our communication, they raise their hand to say, yes, I'm going to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. We are going to put them into the sales pipeline. All right, sales pipeline here, which we call an opportunity, which we'll introduce. So in the sales pipeline, there are 5 phases to walk through this transaction. One is to cultivate. We might encounter a lead or somebody in our database that is a year away, and we're going to cultivate that opportunity for up to a year, if not sooner, if they get more motivated. Once they're in cultivate and they are ready for an appointment, they're ready to understand the market, understand how we can get them through this market and provide an immense value to get them to closing. We're going to set that appointment, that consultation. All right. So once we have the appointment, then they're going to be our active clients. And then after being our active client, we have an immense wall of value to get them under contract and even more to get them to close. The whole intent here is not to just forget about them at closing. This whole business's flow from generating a lead to put them in a database all the way through the sales pipeline, not just to forget about them. We're going to keep them as clients for life. So they're going to be in our database. We're going to continue to nurture and cultivate and pour into that relationship to show how beautiful an experience they can have as a homeowner as well, not just our clients, but we are their protectors of equity. Right? We are their agent for life. All this is in the lead gen model. And we want to understand how we can best do that in command. Now, that might seem, if you first introduced this model, like, yeah, that's a lot. And I don't even know what tech is out there for me or how the tech applies. That's okay. 4 simple steps that we're walking through today. So let's focus first on this lead generation, prospecting and marketing. You want to capture a lead. You want to get your leads into command. So here's how we're going to first do this. It is going to be introducing one of our pieces of technology first, and that is your KW app. So I'm going to share a different screen here and capture your first lead. So if you have your cell phones, go ahead and get those out while I'm prepping the next screen here. And make sure that I have the right one here. There we go. Share there. All right. So get your cell phones out. All right. And follow along with us. Go to your app store, your Google Play Store, wherever it might be, and look for KW, your home search app, or your what we call your consumer app. So go ahead and download that if you haven't. You'll see I've already got mine downloaded. And know that while we have our technology, there's 2 aims that we're looking to accomplish, 2 solutions where we're looking to make life easier for different parties. One is the agent. You as the agent, we have an end-to-end platform to run every single component of your business. We call it command. You log into command and you can do the business things end to end. We just walked that through what that looks like as far as a lead gen model, and we can do that in command. We're also looking to solve a problem that the consumer has. That the consumer has a lot of places they could potentially go, or a lot of information that could be thrown at them in the home search process or through the selling and buying process or home ownership process. We're looking to make that really easy for their one-stop shop to go to be your KW consumer app. So while you're downloading this, know that you are downloading it as a consumer. All right. Just as you went to the App Store, anybody in your database, anybody out there can go to this app and download it. So we're going to go ahead and open it. And as you're opening it, put yourself in the seat or put your hands in the hands of a consumer, somebody you made an open house, somebody in your database, a contact, your sphere of influence, maybe somebody you door knocked, a Facebook lead that comes in. You're this person as you're holding the phone, right? Now, what I do want to do here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and sign out because I'm already logged in here. I thought I signed out prior. When you first download the app, there will be a little tutorial kind of walking through the highlights, some illustrated tutorials. Here's what the app can do. Go ahead and look through that if you'd like, but we're going to focus on skipping that and getting to the registration page. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Yes, you've downloaded this as a consumer. I want you to pretend your name, yourself, you're going to be your first consumer or where we'll see your first lead. So click on the sign up button there. Put your name, your first name, your last name. Now I'm going to use the example here for today. I don't know about you all. We're in fall season. It's October 5th and fall is in full effect, at least in our household. And with my little ones, my 3 little ones, it's Charlie Brown season. Once fall kicks off, fourth quarter comes, that's when the Charlie Brown movies come out. So we just watched The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And so I'm going to use Charlie Brown because he's just been in my mind and all the songs that come with it. So I'm going to put in here Charlie Brown. All right. Put your name. You don't have to put Charlie Brown. And then put an email address. Now, this can be your KW email address if you like. However, if you want to really put yourself in the mindset of me being the consumer, put your personal address. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a fictitious one here, Charlie Brown at kw.com. I wonder if there is a Charlie Brown at KW. That'd be interesting. Maybe check that out. And then go ahead and create a password for yourself. I'll just put in here Charlie 1 2 3 4. So you know the password does have to be 8 characters. And you also want to make sure that you accept the terms and conditions. Read through those if you'd like. And then we're going to sign up. All right. So here's what has happened if you've just gone to the App Store. Me as a consumer, I'm all set. Or Charlie Brown is all set. You are all set as a consumer if you're here. Now, there's a lot to this app, and I'll hold off on sharing all the value. We'll have a training. We've had past live stream trainings on this, and you can see ones that we have in the future about the crazy good value, the exclusive value that the consumer can get in this app. A couple of pieces. It's very neighborhood driven. You can have neighborhood data that's not found in any other home search app or consumer app out there. You can totally map out the buyer and seller journey in this app, and it's totally branded to you. Here's the thing on this app right now, as I'm logged in as Charlie Brown, you're logged in as yourself. This is not connected with me as the agent yet. Here's what I want us to do next. So on the bottom right-hand corner, and I think I can have a little toggle here to show there we go, my cursor. So on the bottom right-hand corner, we are going to click on more. All right. So when I click on more here, you'll notice that it'll say your name as you logged in at the top, and also a lot of options underneath here. What I want us to do here is go to find an agent at the top. Find an agent. And here is where I want you to find yourself. Now, again, you're logged in as the consumer, but I want you to find yourself as the agent. So I'll go ahead and search for my name here. And I would recommend putting in your full name just to be sure. So there you see Clark Kendall out of O'Fallon, just outside St. Louis. And here's myself, my agent profile, a little bit of information about me. Now, one next step that I want you to take is hit the bottom, connect with Clark, or connect with you as you searched your name as the agent. We'll go ahead and confirm that. Once that happens, you see that green check mark there that says success. Now, the consumer, as in this example, Charlie Brown, is connected with me, the agent, Clark Kendall. Now, what is going to also magically happen in Command when we go to our agent tool, that this little green check mark that you see there on the screen, success, Charlie Brown will come in with a little green check mark saying that he is a connected consumer. So anytime you see a green check mark, when we go into the command and see your contacts or your database, that green check mark is a powerful green check mark. All right. So just know that if you download the app, or if anybody downloads the app and registers, it's not connected with an agent. They have to choose the agent. That's if they go through the process we just went through of finding in the App Store. Now, here's the good news. Every single one of us as KW associates, we have the ability to make that easier for the consumer, right? You have a specific URL, right, or a link that has a code in it that is just yours. And if your consumer or a client or anybody you come into contact with uses that URL, and if they use it on their phone, they don't have to go searching for the agent. If they register, bingo, the green check mark comes in and they are branded to you. So here's the last step we're going to take in this consumer app. I want you to take action because this will show you the power behind this app. In the bottom right-hand corner, after you've branded it to yourself, go ahead and hit more again. And there's a couple of options here, but we want to share this app out using that specific link. So there's a couple ways to do this. You can click on Share the KW app, and then you can hit your messaging button or mail whatever action item you want there. There's a lot of options based on your smartphone capabilities. And then text this to 5 people. Now, if you put 5 names in here right now, it's going to do a group text, which might be fine. Or maybe you send this out separately. So you share the app 5 different times. But you'll notice here, this KW2KJF8Z4I, that is my specific URL. So yours is going to look different. And as you share this out, this is going to allow that automatic stuff to happen, that if they click on that, and of course go to the App Store, they don't have to go search for the agent. It's already going to connect with you as soon as they register. All right. So taking out the guesswork for the consumer. So go ahead and share that to 5 people. That's your challenge today. And then get feedback from those 5. I would start with your core people, your inner group that are in your corner and want to see your business grow, whether it's family or friends. Yet send that to them and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Start using the app. Tell me what you like about it, or questions that you might have. That's a really good beta test for you to understand, because you're going to get those questions from other folks. Right. And do this yourself, of course, right? Play around with the app, understand it. Check out our trainings. It's escaping me right now. Pump Up the Value. Pump Up the Value is one of the trainings we have on this channel you're watching for understanding more about the app. Okay. So go ahead and share that out to 5 people. And then if you want to feel really brazen after they receive that and you get some feedback from them, say, hey, would you mind sharing this with 5 other people? In really quick fashion, you could have 25 people that have downloaded your app, and you're well on your way to growing your database and getting great insights. I'll say this while we're here. I'll give this example as I'm in Charlie Brown right now. I'll just click on a home here in Little Rock, as that was my default where I was last time. And I'll bring up some information here. I'll view this home. I'll start looking at it. I'll favorite this home. I'm not going to go through all the app, but I just want to take a couple of actions here to save a home to a collection. All right. Because when we now go into command, this is our next step here. And the page that I do want to share with us, make sure we're here, over there. There we go. Let me unshare the screen and reshare where we're at on the lead generation model. So you just have captured your lead. You might not have seen it yet in command. Hang tight. I'll show you what that looks like, but we've captured a lead. So now we want to take the next step and say, okay, what about our database? Where's this lead at? What does a lead look like in command? And how can we connect with this lead to make them a contact? So go ahead. If you're already logged into agent.kw.com, do so, or if you haven't, do so, but that's where we're going to head next. So here I go. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I did not share the screen. You're probably wondering, like, Clark, what are you talking about? Sorry about that. All these screens and technology, bear with me. Share, then add to the live stream. Thank you there. All right, so we were here, right? We were right here where, bear with me. We captured our first lead. You just captured your first lead as you registered yourself as a consumer. We're going to look at what that looks like in command. And then moving on to the next spot, after we've captured that lead in the database, we'll see what this lead looks like in command, what it looks like to connect with them, to make them a contact, you as you just registered yourself as your first lead. Okay. So now let's go to command. So agent.kw.com. And for most of us, we'll just have one account here. If you happen to be on a team within your market center, your office, this could look different for you. Not necessarily different, but you'll have a couple of drop downs here. But I'm focused on your personal account, as assuming that you're not on a team. All right. So here's what's really cool. As soon as I log into command, there's a lot that you might see, and we don't want to make this overwhelming. Let's put the highlights out there. On the far left-hand side, in the top left-hand corner, you got this red circle. Please click that, use that to get acquainted with all the names of the tools. Today, we're going to look at contacts, as I mentioned, smart plans and opportunities. And we're going to do this real quick. All right. So here's the good news. You can come back and watch it. On the far right-hand side, you've got this bell here. All right. So by clicking this bell, you'll see, you know what? I just got a lead. I just got a registration for my agent consumer site or app that's synonymous there. So I could click right here and go directly to Charlie Brown, my new lead. And yet I want to find them directly within contacts. So remember that lead gen model, that second phase where we talked about your database. Your database lives in contacts right here, right there in contacts. When I click on contacts, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more there. There we go. All right. So while we clicked on contacts right here, you'll notice that Charlie Brown just came in. Now, I've got my view here of contacts organized in a certain way to where I wanted to see who was most recently active on my site. All right. So just know that you can customize that. That's actually what we're talking about this upcoming Thursday at 1:30. Same channel page. Right. Check it out. And so yet here's where you're seeing the contacts in your list of contacts that will be here. We see Charlie Brown here. Next to Charlie Brown, we see an L for lead. So in this pretend journey, Charlie Brown has just downloaded the app. I haven't necessarily connected with him, and that's why he has an L by his name. Also have that beautiful green check mark, agent site connection or agent app connection. Again, they're synonymous. Green check marks, good news. So let me go ahead and check out Charlie Brown. What do I have here? When I click on his name, I have kind of two sides of this contact record for Charlie. Everything on the left-hand side is information, specific information about Charlie. And everything on the right-hand side is kind of how Charlie has either been involved with my tech, or I have plugged in specific information about how he can be pushed a lot further along in his real estate journey with my technology. So everything on the left-hand side is more specific information about Charlie in general, and everything right is on about our how he's integrated with our tech. The first tab here is timeline. So when I was on the app there, I wanted to show you, I looked at a home and I saved it to my favorites. Well, that is being tracked all through command. Show me where I viewed the listing, I updated the collection, and actually updated a couple of times there. And yet all that's being tracked. That's why this green check mark is so powerful, because if people are registered on my app or my site and they're viewing homes, I get to understand what they're looking at. So I can best help them understand when they're doing it and possibly what they're looking at, and fill the gaps where they might have questions or understand their motivation to get them where they want to go. All right. So there's a contact record. Now let's say, you know what, Charlie just downloaded my app. I may say I met him at an open house. See, he came in as a lead. He's connected. Awesome. I'm loving this journey so far. He's still a lead though. I haven't reached out to Charlie since he's downloaded my app and came in as lead. So I would reach out to Charlie and I would remove him as lead. Now, I don't have a lot of information on Charlie just yet as far as data, how to contact him. I've got his name. I've got his email. He's connected to my app, which is phenomenal. I don't have much else. So to edit, let's say he did come to the open house and actually had his phone number and I had a physical address for Charlie. You can edit here. And again, we'll go more into detail on this on Thursday. Yet if you click that little pencil, you can put in more information in here. So you can put in a primary phone number here. Let's say I'll just put in my office number. And so there's where the primary phone number goes. And let's say I do also have an address for Charlie. So if I go down here to additional contact information, I can put in an email, or excuse me, a primary address. So if I begin typing out a street address there, it'll bring up the closest street address of what I'm typing in. So it'll search all the Google addresses. So we want to identify that. All right. So I've got now a phone number and I got an email address. Little teaser for Thursday. Right now, I got a Charlie Brown health score of 64%. Know that command will acknowledge how much data you have on your contacts and make it kind of a game, gamify it a little bit. So when I save this, I go from 64 all the way to 84%. All right. So I've got now a phone number. I've got an email address. If I scroll down here in the bottom left, I've got a home address saved. Also know, just another layer here, when you put a physical address in there, if it's within a boundary of a next door neighborhood, we have an exclusive relationship with Nextdoor, that social media platform that a lot of folks use. If it's pinpointed in one of those neighborhoods, it will automatically add them there. Okay. And you can change this, add more neighborhoods if you like, remove them from neighborhoods. You can do that. But I've got Charlie Brown rocking here. All right. So let's say I reach out to Charlie, I call him up and said, hey, I saw you download the app and I understand, that you're starting to look at homes. I saw you looked at 12001 Geyser Spring Road. Was that of any interest? I see you saved it. What did you like about it? Is this something that we need to go see? Or maybe we actually set a consultation and understand what he's really looking at. Right. So I've reached out to Charlie Brown. He's communicated back to me. Yeah, you know what? I'd like to be able to be moved in about 4 months. We're looking to move to Little Rock in 4 months. Excellent. So there's a few things that we want to do in command here to one, to track and record all the activities and conversations we've had with Charlie, but also to know how to best serve our business with the information. So right now I've got Charlie here. I do want to unmark him as a lead. If I've called him and talked to him, he's reciprocating communication, unmark him as a lead. You can do that here. You can also do that in bulk in that list view where we were at previously. But once I've unmarked him as a lead, he is no longer a lead. He is now a contact. Right now on this view that we had here, looks like there's a big difference or a big divide between lead and a contact on this diagram. Well, there's really not. When you go into contacts, the only difference is whether they're marked as a lead or not. You just need to understand, are they a lead? Is there just one-way communication? I'm reaching out to Charlie. He's not answering. I've sent emails, texts, still working on him as a lead. Or I finally connect. We finally talk. I understand how I can best help. I unmark Charlie as a lead. Okay. Lead and a contact. All right, so now let's revisit. I've unmarked Charlie as a lead and I've connected with him. Well, what's next? As he's communicated to me, I'm looking to buy, or I'm looking to, let me hold off. We'll hold off on the sales pipeline. Let's say we are a ways off and I want to be able to communicate to Charlie. So step 3 of this 4 simple step process, because we've already gone through the first 2. Let me go back and visit those real quick. Step 1, you got your first lead. If you've unmarked yourself as a lead, you're now your first contact. Next is your first SmartPlan. Granted, in this example, I already said Charlie's looking to buy in 4 months. Just hold tight on that. I do want to go ahead and put Charlie on a SmartPlan that best makes sense. And I want you to put yourself on a SmartPlan. Now, you might not want to know what a SmartPlan is, and that's totally okay. Here's what it is. A SmartPlan is a plan. It's a path intended to give you leverage. It's a plan for you to get that person in closer relationship to best understand how you can help them. And it can come in a lot of different varieties, but it's an automated plan. All right. So what are smart plans? We'll touch on that on Thursday in depth, but know that a smart plan can be a sequenced plan, a sequence of touches, automatic emails that go out, scheduled tasks to remind you to reach out to somebody, can be automatic texts, reminder for calls. It can be all of those things. Okay. It's a drip campaign. You might be familiar with the term drip campaign, or maybe in some of our older models from the MREA, 33 touch, or the newer version, the 36 touch. How I can reach out to my database with 36 touches, ways I can reach out and show value 36 times a year. All right. So we're here in Smart Plans. Here's what I want you to do next. All right. So hopefully you've been following along. You've gone to the contacts. You've unmarked yourself as a lead. And if you haven't already, make a note. Go back and fill in all the information for yourself, all your contact information. Okay. So once you fill out all your address, your home anniversary, your birthday, all that stuff that you can, um, check off that box. While we're here in Smart Plans, what I want you to do next is go to the library, because I'm going to make the assumption that you might not have any Smart Plans in My Smart Plans when you first click on here. All right. So I clicked on Smart Plans and it defaults to My Smart Plans. You might not see anything here because you haven't either created your own or received one from the library. So if I click on library here, there are over thousands upon thousands. Last I heard we were over 7,000 smart plans that either Keller Williams International has created for us or agents have created and shared with one another. How awesome is that? Sharing our awesome plans that work to get in relationship with folks. So here's what I want you to do. Click on library, and I want you to look for monthly. If you type in monthly, I want you to find this monthly neighborhood nurture. If you find this monthly neighborhood nurture, I want you to hit the button that says add smart plan. I just want you to focus on this one right now, the monthly neighborhood nurture. So add this smart plan. You can rename it here if you'd like, but you want to download it. Once you download it, it will be taken from this library here and moved into your My Smart Plans. Okay. And the nice thing is, in My Smart Plans, if you've got a lot, like I do, you can search by them. So I'll type in here monthly, and you'll see here my monthly neighborhood nurture is right there. Whoops, that's not the right one. There it is, my monthly neighborhood nurture. Okay. So we've got it from the library. It's in My Smart Plans. Here's the next item that I want you to take. I want you to add yourself to this smart plan. There's a couple ways to do that, but also know before you add yourself to this amazing smart plan does require some information on your part. You need to have have a neighborhood identified in your contact profile. So if you remember where I saw Charlie, I'll just open up contacts again real quick. Go back to Charlie. All right, I put in this 123 Main Street, St. Charles, and automatically put this neighborhood 5th Street in for me. We have to see a neighborhood here. Okay. Otherwise, this monthly neighborhood nurture is not going to know what to pull from. All right. So you might have the off chance that it did not put you in a neighborhood. You can add a neighborhood manually here by finding it on the map. Okay. And search in there. I can just add one. And you can zoom in and see all the neighborhoods that are there. All right. So if one doesn't show up automatically, put yourself in a neighborhood, and you need to have an email address. On the steps we've taken so far, you've got an email address for yourself because you registered on the app, right? But you got to have an email address and you got to have a neighborhood in order to leverage this awesome monthly neighborhood nurture. All right. So while you're here, so long as you've found this My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture and it's in My Smart Plans, you can add somebody directly from the Smart Plans page, or even if you're in a contact record, when I go back to Charlie, I have the Smart Plans tab at the top here. I click on Smart Plans, add to Smart Plan, search for, actually I'll do My Monthly to make it easier. There's My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. If I select this, it's going to give me a couple of options. One, I can start this plan now, as long as, again, have a neighborhood and email, or I can start on a certain date. I'm going to go ahead and start this now. And it's going to be one last confirmation. Do you want to put Charlie Brown on this My Neighborhood Nurture? So this neighborhood nurture, what is this smart plan? It's a very simple one, yet powerful. What it's going to do, it's going to send your contact an HTML email. That means a nice looking email that says, here's some neighborhood information that I pulled for you. Check it out. So it's going to send them that email. It's going to delay 30 days and do it again and again and again and again every single month. Okay. So this is a great way to put 12 touches a year just by having an email address and a neighborhood, ideally from the physical address that you know where they reside. So I'll go ahead and confirm this. And it said it has been started. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Now, what might be interesting is if Charlie Brown is a real email or not. Okay, it looks like it might have sent. So there might be a Charlie Brown out there that is probably wondering why he got an email from me. Hopefully we can connect soon, Charlie. So I want you to add yourself to that My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. I want you to feel that as somebody in your contacts database is, right? So that's step 3. You've got your smart plan going. There's other smart plans you will want to add, and we'll talk more about those Thursday. Our goal is to build out a 36 touch for you. all right? To your entire database, getting them in there and getting them on a 36 touch. That's Thursday's call. All right. So last step here, opportunity. I ran through the scenario. I'll call Charlie. He says, yeah, I'm looking to sell in 4 months. As soon as somebody raises their hands, please hear me out. Anytime anyone raises their hand, they communicate an intent to buy, sell, invest in real estate, create an opportunity for them. AKA we're putting them in our sales pipeline as we know it in Command. So we want to create an opportunity. There's a couple ways to do this, but if we're looking from the contact record here, we have this opportunities tab here. If I click on opportunities tab, I'm going to click create an opportunity. Now we'll do another training full out on opportunities. This is just again to introduce you to the essentials of Command. So when you create an opportunity, know it's an opportunity to take someone who has entrusted you with the information that I'm making a real estate decision. One, don't take that lightly. That's a big step for some folks to tell a realtor or an agent that they are going to move or move away or move to somewhere. All right. So be trustworthy with that information and let's not forget about it. So what we're going to do here, you'll choose your market center. Most of us are probably just in one market center, but opportunity type. If you choose this from the contact card, you need to choose whether this is a listing or a buyer. You do have 2 other options for landlord or tenant. I'll use an example. Charlie said he was going to buy in 4 months. We can do that. I'm going to quickly add all the details of the transaction as I best know them now, and know that I really encourage you just to create the opportunity if you don't have all the information. Put the requirements in there as best as you can guess, and yet create the opportunity so we don't forget about this important piece of business. Again, they've entrusted this with us. We want to honor that and not forget about it. Opportunity name. If it's a buyer, recommend just put the person's name in there, the client's name. That's fine. Know that you can create custom tags. That's a moment for our training on opportunities. I can put an estimated close date in here. He did mention 4 months. I'll just put in here January 15th. I don't know an exact date. Estimated close date based on what he said. Time frame. You can put this as well. It's not a requirement. It goes from 1, 3, 6 to 12. I'll put in here 3 months as that's closer. Budget. I may have no clue what the budget is, yet I would go with your best estimation here. So if I had met Charlie in an open house, then the open house was listed at $500,000, I would put that as the budget. It's my best guess right now. You do want to put something in there. I'll put 500,000. Commission rate. What is the going commission rate on average, whether it's one that you track for yourself or for your market? If you're unsure, ask your coach within the market center, your leadership, okay, your market center tech trainer, help you out with that. All right. So we'll put an average of 3% for the buyer side. Also here, opportunity phase. I'm not going to go too much into this here, but know that this pipeline truly is a pipeline. So there are phases, broad phases that have sub stages underneath of them. And this is allowing to choose where do we want to put them in this journey on this pipeline. So I'll start here. I've kind of customized mine to time frame unknown, watch, nurture, hot. I'll put in here 4 months. Knowing if they need to be there 4 months, I'll make it a hot opportunity. Great. So when I create that opportunity, it logs this transaction opportunity in his contact record, which is great because if I intend to keep Charlie Brown for life as a client, then I get to have a list of all the transactions that he's ever done with me, so long as I'm operating my business out of Command. All right. So real quick here, this piece is important for opportunities. Almost all of our market centers or our offices now are using opportunities to also help with compliance. I want us to get in the mindset before we ever do a deal in Command that these opportunities that I see here, if I click here in opportunities, I see a full on out pipeline here. Let me get on my right one here. There we go. That is, I'm adding more and more opportunities. Anytime I add a listing opportunity, depending on which phase I put them in, which strange enough, not really, it's fully intended. Those 5 phases that we have built out in Command, it is, oops, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. We reshare. We're almost wrapping up here. Again, one last note there. If you got questions, let's hit those up in the comments, get them answered for you, at least in the right direction for you. And I'll reshare. When we were talking about the sales pipeline, we had cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Those live right here. We have a pipeline for listings, for buyers, and landlords and tenants are combined in this leases pipeline. So anytime I add an opportunity, depending on where I put them at in the pipeline, it's going to give me a number. It's going to add one number for that phase and also include the volume based on that purchase price or that list price that I had first put in the opportunity. That's why I think it's so important to put that in there. Because if we're creating an opportunity, if Charlie's entrusted us with that info to, yeah, I'm looking to move, could you possibly help me? One, yes, we don't want to forget that. And the pipeline is a great way not to forget that piece of business. Yet me as a business owner, if I'm purposeful and I set my goals, because I fully intend my business to serve my life goals, to have a life by design, to serve my big purpose, my big why in life. This pipeline helps me understand how my business is accomplishing that journey for me or not. Right. So this is either a great encouragement of the activities, the conversations I've had. As long as I'm putting them in the system, I can see them and know where they're at, or maybe maybe call it a discouragement, but maybe a different type of encouragement to get in the activities that we know we need to be in. All right. Because say if I've got a goal to have, $1 million in GCI for at all times, $1 million in GCI, that's my goal. That fits my ongoing goal to there. Then I know I'm short here based on potential probable income. So there's more here. Okay. So know that we create an opportunity because you're going to create an opportunity as a business owner and more than likely for compliance to send documents. All right. We're not going into all those details. I at least wanted to show you when you have a contact, that's when you can create an opportunity. And it's not, they have to create an opportunity. It's a get to as a business owner. So I hope you see that. Again, we'll have trainings much more on opportunities there. And yet that's step 4. That's taking us all the way through where we capture the lead for yourself. So create an opportunity for yourself as your contact and go through that process so you're familiar with it. And we'll do another training on there. And that kind of wraps us up for today. That's your 4 steps. Just to revisit, you create yourself as a first lead through the consumer app. Go ahead and start looking at homes on your app. Get familiar with it. There's a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of value to be found. You also unmarked yourself as a lead. Hopefully you've put some information in there for yourself, for where you live, anniversary and all that stuff. And then you put yourself on that monthly neighborhood nurture. Then you also create a opportunity for yourself, pretending to understand how that opportunity works and where that sits on that pipeline. So I don't believe we see any questions live here, unless I'll just leave a few more moments there. And last thing I'll put here, just as a reminder, answers.kw.com. It's my number one resource as a tech trainer, and I can't tout it enough. The amazing folks at KW University maintain this. Anytime there's an update or a change, or even a minute change in Command or our app or any of our technology, it's changed here. So it's the most reliable, up-to-date articles in here. For example, if you wanted to know more about contacts, right? Or no, I'll even take a step back because we had the app, right? Let's say consumer app. I'll just type in consumer app here. There's some search results here. And get started with the KW app. One of my favorite articles that are out there. So if I click on this, these articles are really powerful. It says, well, let's first set up the KW app. There are things you can go to be purposeful with your app and setting it up. And so there's sub-articles on setting that up, and also launching customizing your consumer experience. So if you want to understand how to map out that buyer and seller journey, you can check this out. And so this is an article of articles. And yet if I wanted to see one example, learn how to find your KW app URL and text code. I showed you how to share that through the app today. Right? When you're on the app, you get that share at KW where you texted the 5 people. This article here will walk you through where to find that specific URL in Command, because it's there. And it's a lot of places, but here's where you can find it in Command as well. So that article would help you out there. I'll go ahead and put these in the comment section. I trust we are good on questions, or if you're revisiting this training, go ahead and put those in comments. Love to hear your questions or ahas. Would love nothing more that if you've texted those 5 people and everybody downloaded it, that you've got 5 new people in your database, or that they were already in your contacts, that you now have 5 new green check marks associated with those contacts, and where it goes from there. Appreciate you carving out the time. Thank you for being in business with us and your partnership. We value that, and we hope to see you again.